right. Hello, everybody. So sorry for the late start. Hello, Mystery Theater. Hello, Luca. Hello, Zarmegas. Hello, Apparition. Welcome back to Rose Guns Days. Last time, everybody finally found out Zelle's secret. But, you know, Wayne gave her a chance. Like, obviously, some people within Primavera wanted her dead, but Rose said to let her go. And, oh my god, everybody in the Wandering Dogs took it so hard. Oh god. And, it just hurts so much that I think that maybe she thought it might sound like an excuse, like the story with her father, but I am so heartbroken that she didn't tell them about her father. That would have at least given her more ground to stand on. They could have even tried to mount a rescue mission for her father so she didn't have to follow them anymore. Oh god. Oliver especially took it so hard. Let's see if we can get the Wandering Dogs back together again. Although that might not happen until the end of the story arc. Let's get back into it.
Sorry to keep you waiting. The embargo on Satomi soy sauce is now being lifted.
The crowd of people filling the shopping district let out a cheer. They've been waiting for this day. We've been waiting for this! Some Persona 3 stuff.
I've been waiting for this.
Please sell it quickly. Oh, but make him it this time, right? You realize how long I've been in line? Start selling it already or I'm gonna fucking cut a bitch!
The hell you think you're doing, bastard? Don't you cut in line!
Fuck you! Ah!
And then, like, later on in the news, like, today at the marketplace, a bloodbath occurred over the legendary reintroduction of soy sauce. Like,
yes. True, Apparition. Yeah, she did have understandably, she had a lot of anxiety, so I can understand why she didn't want to talk more about it. But it's still so sad that they don't have the full story. Angry yells seem to be drowning out voices of anticipation. People were in a frenzy, determined to finally get their hands on some soy sauce.
One bottle per person. Thank you for your cooperation.
Whoa, alright! I've been waiting so long for this soy sauce! Here it is! Just what I wanted!
Hey, get a move on. The line's hardly moving at all.
Fuck you!
Please don't push. We have a lot of soy sauce, quite a lot. Please remain calm. President, look at this line. If we raised the price of it, we could have made a bundle.
Uh-oh.
Fool!
Just shut up and sell at the price Primavera told us to, or else we're all going to die painfully. I'm not getting a second chance. If something happens again, Cyrus will really tear me to pieces this time.
Oh my god, it's the same fucking guy. Even the evil president had been trying to sell soy sauce on the black market. Was apparently trying to make an honest sale this time. It seemed he'd had a change of heart, gotten to by the Phantom Thieves. For the time being, and after being thoroughly threatened by Cyrus and the others. Furthermore, that incident had ended up getting leaked to the other businessmen. This time, it seemed that all the businessmen would obey Primavera's orders. Or else.
Hey there, prison. How's it sound?
If it isn't Cyrus-san!
as you can see, business is booming. We're doing good, honest business. Nothing suspicious going on here.
He actually said that! Oh my god! I can't believe he actually said it.
I know. Believe me, I've been watching you. I can attest to the fact that you're doing clean business this time. Hey, prison! Don't go think you can fool Richard again. Got it? Or else we'll kill you. Kill you good. When Richard gets serious, he'll start calculating everything, including how much toilet paper y'all use. Actually, some people are starting to take that story seriously. I would appreciate it if you refrain from spreading it. Oh, was it really so bad?
Oh my god. Some levity after that really sad moment before.
What's wrong?
The long line of people pushing towards the shop front. The yells and fervor were the same as ever. The mood suddenly changed. There was no difference in the people at the front who were about to get their chance to buy soy sauce. But the area behind them was starting to mutter. Mutter, mutter, mutter. They spoke to each other uncertainly. Got surprised together. And some people even left the line after waiting there so long. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream.
Huh? What's going on here? Isn't that a bit strange?
Uh-oh. I have a feeling there might be some kind of terrorist attack here or something of that nature.
Pardon me. I have an urgent matter to bring to your attention.
I forgot if I just said it. But welcome to the stream, T.
At times like this, it could hardly be anything good.
President, we're in trouble. Those Chinese guys are selling soy sauce at less than half our price. Less than half?
Hey, did you hear that? Sounds like Chinatown just bought a whole bunch of soy sauce too!
Huh? Really? It costs less than half as much there? I knew $33 per bottle was a ripoff, even after the
Whoa! $33. Damn. That fucking cartel price. Even the Chinese merchants are selling it cheaper.
Yeah, soy sauce always used to be about that price, right?
I thought there was no helping it being expensive because of the war, but... Damn it, Primavera! So you were ripping us off after all! Hello, Guppy Force, welcome to the stream. Damn, this heavy metal track just seems so out of place in Rose Gun Days. It's, because Rose Gun Days is all about the jazz, you know, like a very, 1930s through 50s feel. Before rock and roll was really kind of invented. This is the end of the line! Can we really buy soy sauce for cheap? Whoa means I, or me. But, I don't know the rest. In Chinese, in Chinese. Thank you, Guppy Force, with the translation.
Welcome. We've got bulk quantities of delicious Japanese soy sauce. Japanese are more than welcome too. You won't run out no matter how much you buy, so don't push.
Incredible! There's a mountain of soy sauce! Incredible! Chinatown, now there's a major country for you! I think I got the Erica voice back, finally.
Hey, what's going on here? At this rate, Madam Rose's soy sauce won't be able to sell.
Damn the GDS! Playing us for fools!
Chinatown was filled with Japanese people. The storefront was lined with stacks of soy sauce bottles. Of course, they weren't Satomi Alliance bottles. Oh, that's a different wolf. Okay, thank you, Guppy Force. They had no labels and were from an unknown origin. However, there was an overwhelming quantity. I bet they're fake. I bet they're the fake type. Although, if they were fake, wouldn't people be able to tell? Well, I guess we'll see as the story goes. And the biggest factor was the price. Primavera soy sauce cost 3 times as much as the old days. However, in Chinatown, they were selling it for almost pre-war prices. It was clear which ones would be chosen by the poor Japanese consumers.
Rain-san, this way! They're mocking us!
Yeah, this sounds like a fucking scam. In a shopping center side street, there was a huge line of people. Yeah, this is probably the soy sauce war that Sheen was talking about in the framing story. At a glance, it looked like a line of people who wanted soy sauce, but they're all holding soy sauce bottles. Not just 1 or 2. Some were even carrying more than a dozen in wooden boxes.
What's this line for? Why are they in line holding soy sauce?
At the front of the line, some men were obviously with GDS, were calling out in Chinese and Japanese. Oh, thank you, Guppy Force.
Come here to buy Japanese soy sauce. You can even buy several bottles.
This sounds like a scam. This really sounds like a scam. I guess they can, taste it and see if it tastes like actual soy sauce, but I don't know. This really sounds like a fucking scam. I'd be really skeptical.
We're paying big bucks for Satomi soy sauce, which went on sale today.
Oh, so they're buying back the ones that Primavera's selling? Damn.
Come on in. Hello, Japanese. Come on in. So you're selling 3, is it? Thank you very much.
Damn.
We've got a lot here. 12 in total.
Oh, that's the people. We got a lot here! 12 in total! You really buy all of these, right? But, Chinese guys, you're buying them for more than the selling price. Oh, you're sure your wallets are gonna be okay?
We love Japanese soy sauce too. But Primavera won't sell it to us, so we're buying it from you all.
Are you sure? This sounds like a fucking scam.
No, it's not a scam, I assure you.
Okay, that's great!
Phew. You guys are really helping us out.
Oh, so the Chinese like Japanese soy sauce too. Then there's good times coming for both of us. Not bad, not bad.
Yes, here is your money. If you bring us more and more, we'll buy more and more. You'll be rich.
All right, back for another round. Let's buy up Satomi soy sauce. Wait, so wouldn't that help Primavera if they were buying, if they're buying Primavera's soy sauce? Anyway, like, wouldn't they get the money from that? But I guess they want to establish their market. I'm pretty sure it's made up for the game, Luca. Judging by their conversation, they were buying up Primavera's Satomi soy sauce at double the price. In other words, anyone can make some extra cash by buying soy sauce and bringing it to Chinatown. There were a lot of low-level laborers, but it was the kids and housewives that stood out. It sounds like they're gonna buy it to like water it down and some shit and then sell it back to them. That's what it feels like. The line of Japanese people and the amount of soy sauce they bought grew and grew. The number of people bringing carts and stuff grew as well.
There's even women and children. It's understandable. No fool would choose not to pick up money lying on the ground. Damn! That's the soy sauce Madame Rose brought back with her for the sake of our countrymen. Hey, I bought some of that soy sauce, but try tasting. What? It's soy sauce, right?
Here we go. Wayne stuck a finger in and licked it. The smell alone was certainly reminiscent of soy sauce. However, it was nothing but— I knew it! It was the fucking fake shit! God damn it. However, it was nothing but substitute soy sauce. It only somewhat resembled the real thing and had a chemical tingle to it. In the past, people had put up with this taste to remind themselves of soy sauce. However, it certainly wasn't something anyone could accept after tasting real Chiba-made soy sauce. There's nothing more than a fake with a soy sauce-like color, flavored with chemical seasoning. When Wayne spat it out, his subordinates raced to have a taste.
This is just that disgusting substitute soy sauce. Rose-san went to talk with Chiba because she wanted to bring back real delicious soy sauce. And now these people are selling that in exchange for fake soy sauce?
They sold their real Satomi soy sauce for spare change. If they wanted soy sauce, they bought the fake soy sauce at a bargain. No one was trying to buy real soy sauce to use in food.
Damn you, GDS! Damn you! Trying to tear down Rosa-san's ideals. Oh, Wayne-san. It's rare for you to visit us in Chinatown. Bastard!
As the men started to lash out in anger, Wayne wordlessly stopped them. He used his hockey.
Looks like business is booming. Thank you, business is doing quite well. Have you come to buy some too, Wayne-san? Please buy delicious, cheap Chinatown soy sauce. Even dogs wouldn't eat the disgusting soy sauce. But it seems like the Japanese are buying a lot of this soy sauce that even dogs wouldn't eat. On the contrary, they keep coming to sell us their Primavera soy sauce to us.
You know what? I think the girls without eyes should wear sunglasses. That way they could fit in with everybody.
On the contrary, they keep coming to sell us their Primavera soy sauce. Now what could that be?
Exactly, Luca. I'll take your entire stock and sell it to these guys.
Obviously our soy sauce is more delicious. Looks like soy sauce a dog wouldn't eat is just perfect for the Japanese palate. Bastards!
This is kind of like almost like American Prohibition era stuff, except with soy sauce. Which is, of course, the mafia was involved with that as well. So it's very interesting. Like kind of like an alternate version of that type of story.
I see. Quite an interesting show. So this is the soy sauce war you spoke of earlier, is it? Nothing of the sort. This is only the beginning. However, won't it be a significant financial burden to buy up some of the Primavera soy sauce? It's an investment. No, if we're calling this the soy sauce war, one might consider it a bombardment. See? Before sending in a rush of foot soldiers, you start by bombarding the enemy lines beforehand, right? So after this, he'll rush forward and overpower Primavera in one swoop. Before long, Madame Rose will retire thanks to an unfortunate illness.
That's what you think.
Primavera will fall apart.
Wait, Wong was called Wayne for a second in the name tags? Are you serious?
After that, everything will proceed according to Keikaku.
What? Oh my gosh, you're right! Yeah, there's a translation oopsie there. Wong was called Wayne for one line.
I'd expect nothing less from you, honored brother. A splendid show.
However, Meiji was chuckling inside his heart. He had already warned Madame Rose about... Oh! That's how they found out. He had already warned Madame Rose about Hotarubi's assassination attempt beforehand. He didn't receive report that she'd avoided the attack. Ooh, damn. Plans within plans. Meiji was like such a scheming character, but like he's like a true neutral type of guy. Yeah, I'd say Lee Meiji embodies true neutral in this story. He mustn't allow matters to proceed according to the council faction's plans any longer. The council faction was scheming to purge the former leader faction, so he couldn't allow them to rack up any more accomplishments. That was one of the reasons why Primavera was still useful to him. How is the volume for you guys, both my voice and the game? Can you hear it okay?
What will you do next? I want to surprise you, so it's a secret. The bombardment is finished. Now we charge in.
Thank you, Apparition.
Of course, in a money war sense. See? I'm truly excited to see what happens next.
Yep. Damn, he is one of the coolest characters.
Little May, I want you to have a good look at my work against Primavera.
Oh, Luca, it's just my educated guess based on their behavior so far.
You may take your hat off to Primavera, but I'll win them over in a heartbeat.
Like Wong, for instance, is lawful evil. Is based on his behavior.
And once that happens, won't you change your opinion of me and stand by my side like you did in the past? There's no need to change my opinion. I have never looked down on you, honored brother.
This track, I don't know why, it always reminds me of Umineko somehow.
If we join forces, we'll be able to do whatever we like with the GDS in the future. I eat and drink too much, so I probably won't live too long. After that, you'll become king of the GDS.
I mean, That's really interesting. So Lee Meiju is kind of setting it up so no matter who wins, he wins. Like, if he gets rid of no Luca, that would be neutral evil. Chaotic evil means they just want everything to be ruined and everyone to be miserable and destroyed because they like that. That's what chaotic evil is. Like, chaotic evil is evil without a purpose other than evil itself. So this is very interesting because Lee Meiju basically has a situation where he can't lose, no matter who wins. He could, like, if Primavera loses, he could just say yes to Wong's offer. No, the reason why I say lawful evil for Wong is because he's working within the framework of the organization. And, like, he's doing things very, like, planned out and careful, and he still has, like, holds a respected position in an organization. And he's trying to do things by the book, but twisting it to his own ends while doing some shady shit behind the scenes. Anyway, let's continue with the story.
After that, you'll become king of the GDS. That future isn't beyond your imagination, is it? I am not the man to fill such a role.
Pardon me. The car has arrived.
Got it. Thanks. I'd better go now. Take care. Even without your urging, I'll be watching you at work. Little May.
Yes, Mystery Theater, exactly.
Why don't you make a little bet with me? Oh? Over what? If I win this war, Little May, become mine once again. You jest. Oh, I'm serious. With you and me together, the sky's the limit. I want to spend all the time I've been given.
Damn. Wow. This sounds very subtexty.
On the rest of my life with you.
Wow, jeez. If only Ji-chan were here.
Your time, would you say, is more precious than gold, silver, or diamonds? Now there's a surprise. That's just about as extraordinary as a proposal.
Yeah, seriously.
I see, yes, true enough. We'll see the same dream and climbs towards it in a three-legged race.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, Wong.
Saying I want to for the rest of my life is like saying I want you as my wife. So, are you in on this bet? If I stand to gain something from winning, yes. Ah, right, that.
He forgot about that part.
Wouldn't be fair without that, now would it? Sure. What do you want if you win? Say whatever you like. In that case, I'll take the same thing as you. Huh? I'll have you give up the rest of the time remaining in your life to me.
Wow. This is like freaking Keiichi and Rena shit here. Holy shit. I was not expecting this kind of development.
Can I consider that your answer? We can deal with that after the bet has been settled. You ought to hurry on it, brother. The car is waiting.
Yes. See you later, little May. When there's time, I'll contact you again.
Wow, that was really subtexty. I was not expecting that. Damn. Oh, sorry, I knocked the microphone a bit. Made you bow deeply until Wong passed from sight. Once he was sure the other had gone, he called to Xiaolan.
Xiaolan.
The skylight opened and she slipped in through.
Do you have any information on what happened to Otarubi after the assassination failed?
It would be troublesome if Wong easily caught wind of the assassination's failure. Oh, that's fine, Luca. I think it's very cute. After all, it was possible that he realized that Meiju had leaked the information. What you do in the chat, I mean. Of course. Meiju had impressed upon Rose the importance of making sure the information wasn't leaked. Oh, Xiaolan actually talking. There's a rare thing. I haven't heard anything about them killing her.
I can't imagine Madame Rose, the philanthropist, killing her. Although Richard I could see doing that. Even if she doesn't. It would be helpful if they kept her confined for a certain period of time.
Otarubi's friends have been looking for her all this time. Either she's being confined, or she may have disappeared on her own.
Disappeared on her own?
In exchange for us not taking your life, you must leave the city. It was possible that Rose would set up an arrangement like that. However, that would change the situation slightly. Otarubi knew that if Wong and the others had heard her mission's failure, her father's life was over. Yep, that's true. Hopefully... Oh yeah, I agree with you, Mystery Theater. I was just surprising the way that read. Like, that seemed totally out of the blue. I do think Wong is serious, though. He misses Meiju as his subordinate. He probably trusts him more than anyone else. Or rather, not trust, but like knows that he's extremely capable more than anyone else he's probably ever worked with. He trusts in his ability to lead an organization, I should say.
There's a chance that Otarubi will make a desperate attempt to rescue her father. Interesting. In that case, it may be amusing to have her do one more job along the way.
Oh, who's he gonna have her kill?
No, no. I'm not considering giving her any more cruel treatment. I just thought she deserved a bit of a reward after all the hard work she's done.
Zell was amidst the bustle of City 22. Her face was weary and her eyes were cloudy. She wanted to crouch down from exhaustion, but stopping wasn't an option for her. News of her mission's failure could approach them at any time. In fact, going by Rose's expression, Zell's true identity might have been discovered. In other words, it was possible that they even penetrated even as far as the fact that the GDS had sent her. Lee Meiju saved Rose. I imagine he wanting to reward Cell apparition, but maybe he's gonna rescue her father for her? Like he's gonna have her father transferred to Lee Meiju's side? So that way her father would be safe. In other words, it was possible that they had penetrated even as far as the fact that the GDS had sent her. She might not even have one last chance. The only thing really she can do in her position right now is make a desperate attempt to save her father. Like from her perspective, I think. If she's not going to go back to Primavera and explain the situation. She might not even have one last chance. She and her father might be killed immediately. I mean, what she could do, what I would do in that situation, is pretend that the assassination succeeded. Because she used that type of poison that it would take a week for Rose to die, right? So I would basically pretend like it worked. And that's what I would do. I would say, if I was her, I would say like, yes, I dropped the poison in. Everything worked fine. She even thought I didn't, but I did. Although she might have discovered me, but I put that poison in her glass. And inside of being going like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Mad, 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 mad. I have to rescue my father. And like, like just make plans to rescue him. She had to save her father. Yep, that's what she's gonna do. She's to save her father as quickly as possible. But I think lying to them could buy her some time. Like right now, she feels that she doesn't have any time. If she lied to them, then that could buy some time. However, she didn't know where her father was being held. The GDS weren't fools. They knew better than anyone that Zell was an assassin not to be underestimated. As a result, they had guided her to her father on their meeting days blindfolded and under the ground. So Zell didn't know where her father was being held, except that it was somewhere in City 22. However, she had to keep moving, searching for a clue. She'd hardly eaten anything since then. Her body hurt from sleeping in back alleys, which she still wasn't used to. She had no money or weapons. She had no information. She had no comrades. Yes, you do. You have Oliver, at least. If I don't move fast, he'll be killed. Father will be killed. There's no time. There's no time, but if I lose father, then there's no point in living. In other words, if father dies, it's the same as me dying. In that case, I have to give up my life. As I staggered. No, now we go into first person narration. As I staggered, I bumped into the shoulder of a passerby. Then I quickly tried to apologize. My arm was suddenly grabbed from behind. Oh. I hope this is someone sent by Meiju. Before I could cry out, my consciousness faded. Why didn't you do your judo throw? God damn it. Oh no. I really hope this was someone sent by Meiju. We have a chapter break! Fucking hell. Okay. What page is this? Page 3? We are going to start page 4, it looks like. I think that with Rose Gun Days, I think we just might have enough save points to save everything without worrying about saving over on page 1. Maybe. I don't know if if part 4 is longer than the other parts.
Ah! Finally, I get some fucking screen time! Now there's a new way to be a bully. Pisses me off!
In Primavera, the core members were filled with indignation at Wong's harassment. The circulation of goods, thanks to Rose's goodwill, wasn't penetrating at all. It felt like pouring water, or soy sauce in this case, into a dry sandbox.
Well, we might be able to keep the businessmen in line. But we can't do that to ordinary townspeople.
Oh, those housewives are and such a really selling that delicious soy sauce and buying that terrible soy sauce! What the actual fuck? That's so dumb!
If the tastes were the same, cheaper would obviously be better. But even the taste is completely different, right? Well, I mean, they didn't know that when they bought their first bottles, but maybe now they'll realize that. Everyone will get tired of that terrible soy sauce before long.
I agree. It's true people are losing their cool with all the free money now. But when they calm down, even a monkey could tell the difference. They don't know which soy sauce is the real deal.
You guys wouldn't buy that damn disgusting soy sauce, right? You guys? I mean, I know you don't have eyes, but surely your tongues are working fine. Guys? Huh? Please?
Oh my god! Yeah! Sure. Of course not. Go Primavera on your $33 soy sauce. Once you knew the taste of real soy sauce, who could eat that substitute stuff? If I had to choose, I'd pick the real thing, right? Stella noticed a strange difference in enthusiasm in the girls. Felt as though they didn't really agree on the inside. However, right now, Rose wasn't faced with feelings, but with reality. What the fuck do you mean?
Well, it's just, you know.
Of course. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. It'd be great if we could purchase more soy sauce. But when you cook with soy sauce, you have to use a lot. I hate to say it, but at the current prices, it's too expensive to use in our restaurant.
Oh, come on, Claudia! As Claudia spoke for all the merchants, they nodded uncomfortably. Japanese merchants working in food and drink also had established a union. Oh, that's cool. They did this so they could buy in bulk and lower the prices as much as possible. Nearly all such merchants in City 23 participated in this union so they could make a bulk purchase of soy sauce. That should have given a favorable tailwind to soy sauce circulation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, pay attention to me. The more soy sauce in circulation, the lower the price will become. It's true that the current price is 3 times what it used to be. We understand that it's too expensive. However, the high quantity will support capital investments in the soy sauce industry, and it will become possible to mass-produce quantities of cheap soy sauce again.
Everyone, if we want to regain the soy sauce culture we lost, we'll all have to work together. In the near future, the price will definitely return to what it once was. Can't you lend us your strength until then?
Then when the price gets cheaper, we'll definitely buy it then.
Oof.
Oh, those in the soy sauce industry managed to rebuild a production system that had lost its foundation, selling soy sauce as a luxury item. They've now gone a further step and are working hard to make soy sauce in a way that puts it in the hands of the common man again. And you two are saying, no, that's too expensive, and won't even buy it to justify their business expense and therefore lower the price in the future. Fucking hell. Why do we even bother?
They're putting in an extraordinary effort. Can't we join in on the effort they're making? Soy sauce culture is a Japanese tradition, isn't it? Let's take our culture back together. Rose's fervent speech was a fruitless effort. The merchants hung their heads, smiling vaguely and looking apologetic. Rose felt a stabbing pain in her chest.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'm really happy you feel that way, but, I gotta pay the bills, you know? Soy sauce is the job of...
Oh, there's a typo.
Soy sauce is the drop of our Japanese sauce. A sad flavoring that we can't get easily now. And of course we want to cook with soy sauce! We want that good old smell to be drifting through the streets! We aren't treating our jobs as a hobby or for fun. We're working as hard as we can to earn money for food! I think the idea that we should all work hard together is admirable. Wonderful, even. But it's impossible! We aren't all rich like you are! We can't bear that burden!
Claudia.
I'm sorry, Rose. I didn't mean to say it so harshly. Your ideals are wonderful. No one here doubts that you have magnificent ideas. But we're poor. Even if we want to buy real soy sauce, we don't have the money.
And so you're going to buy the bargain substitute soy sauce from Chinatown?
Well, it's cheap. After all, we're in a soy sauce boom right now. If we offer soy sauce cooking, it'll sell like crazy.
So if it sells like crazy, then cheap, fake soy sauce is good enough for you.
Richard-san, on that point, even we were cooking with real soy sauce at first. At first, everyone remembered the good old days needed. But our sales went down right away. After all, it's expensive. It's not like you can eat for laborers' wages, unless they won a big bet that day or something.
But our customers want to eat soy sauce cooking. Which means we have to make do with the substitute soy sauce like we've done before now. That substitute soy sauce used to be fairly expensive, but thanks to Chinatown it's suddenly gotten cheaper.
We wouldn't want to use substitute soy sauce if we didn't have to. However, this is the consumer's decision. Everyone wants to eat soy sauce cooking, but they aren't willing to pay for it. After all, they're poor! They're more concerned about money and culture or Japanese spirit.
At that rate, soy sauce will go back to being something only for a few rich people. Right? This is a chance to use everyone's strength to regain our soy sauce.
Rose, that isn't what the Japanese want right now. We want to fucking survive. You want to eat until they're full. You don't care how it tastes. And most importantly, they want to save every dollar they can. That's all. If I put my heart and soul into making a donbori, and there was pig feet eating for $1 next to it, 100 out of 100 people would choose the pig feet. That's what the Japanese are like right now.
As Claudia passionately said her piece, tears streamed from her eyes. It wasn't clear what had gotten her so fired up. However, Rose could guess. Claudia would never refuse to support something her closest friend was trying to do.
Even if the cost is a little high.
Even if the cost is a little high, the Japanese people will choose the taste of real soy sauce. Even she had believed that.
Being substitute soy sauce is good enough for those people. You don't have any tongues. They claim that they're able to tell how things taste, but all they look at is the price. It's impossible. None of the Japanese people have the common sense to buy delicious things.
Kurizaki-san, that's enough. Madam Rose, now isn't the right era. There is that proverb saying that poverty brings simplicity. Right now, Japanese don't have enough extra money to spend on culture and good food.
Oh, fuckleberries. Oh, back to Jean, who we haven't seen in a long time.
During the Meiji and Taisho periods, when Japan was still prosperous, it's true that the Japanese treasured quality. As the saying, you get what you pay for, suggests, we used to hold quality in great esteem.
The Japanese are fastidious after all. Japanese agricultural products still of high quality and held in high regard. That's true. Like Kobe beef.
Hey, Julie, you shop at supermarkets too, right? When you do, if a choice between Chinese vegetables and domestic vegetables that cost 2 to 3 times as much, which do you buy? And your choice between American beef and domestic beef that cost 2 to 3 times as much, which do you buy?
Well, once you put it in your mouth, the taste is pretty much the same. Seems dumb to waste money on the same vegetables for naturalistic ideals. Then when you hear about things like PM 2.5, hazardous agricultural chemicals and mad cow disease, it's a bit scary sometimes. Price is important, right? The average person doesn't have enough leeway for unneeded expenses.
Poverty brings simplicity, just as the proverb says. When the Japanese lost their country, quality became secondary. They began to decide everything based on price. At this time, high-quality Japanese agricultural products were treated as high-grade vegetables, and most were exported to wealthy people in China. On the flip side, large quantities of so-called poison vegetables, those mass-produced products with harmful chemical fertilizers created by low-wage labor in foreign countries, were imported. As far as words went, people valiantly said that they'd never eat poison vegetables. However, there was nothing else to be found on supermarket shelves. Only a small quantity of high-grade domestic vegetables was available. The reason goes without saying. Consumer demand tells all. If it won't sell, it fades away. That's true for traditional culture and everything else. Madame Rose was able to see it. He saw a future where the Japanese people, who had grown simple due to poverty, would eventually lose all of their culture.
The Japanese love of small change made them sell away real soy sauce by their own hands. Thus, reluctant to give up their change, they willingly bought up fake soy sauce. If that represented the needs of the consumer, then the merchants would have to obey. Even though they wished everyone remembering soy sauce fondly would cause a revival in its distribution. That wish was only lip service. They only wished, and no one tried to share in the effort and pain it would take to make it come true. The Japanese are fond of phrases like both parties in a fight are to blame. And the rich never quarrel. Jeez. That's a phrase that... And wise men stay away from danger. They treat being unconcerned about everything as a virtue. Oh, hello 1212, welcome to the stream. Ignoring things is cool, and passionately getting involved is something uncool. Interesting, that's how kind of characters are treated in some Japanese shows. Like, the characters who are passionate are treated as, like, goofballs and shit. And the characters who are cold and aloof are always, like, the super cool guys. There are strange people where refusing to show a reaction is the adult thing to do, and simply sitting around quietly like a tree is an ideal. How could a people like that protect anything they'd inherited?
Our world of 21st century Japan doesn't exist because the Americans and Chinese destroyed everything. This day came because we Japanese ourselves never put in any effort.
So basically nothing Rose did kind of mattered, I guess, because we saw from the beginning that the future was basically like what she feared it would be like. It's really sad in this world that Japanese culture never got to rebrand itself after the war like it did in our world.
This day came because we Japanese ourselves never put in any effort.
The soy sauce culture, which Madame Rose had tried to revive. Soy sauce fever. It was easily hijacked by a modest act of bullying by Wong. The city was still charged with soy sauce fever. True enough, the streets were filled with the wonderful scent of soy sauce, just as Rose had wanted. However, it was all fake soy sauce, whose smell alone only barely imitated the real thing. The taste couldn't be faked. Everyone recognized the taste of fake soy sauce. However, no one tried to get real soy sauce. It was expensive after all. I mean, you know, it's a very modern issue here. What the it's like, you know, with healthy and sustainable food, it costs more than the unhealthy stuff, so people don't want it. Like, only super recently they began to give like healthier alternatives or more sustainable alternatives to more unhealthy foods. Like recently, like I love the freaking Beyond Burgers or whatever they are at Burger King. I eat those all the chance I get because I don't know, I kind of like prefer the vegetable patties to the real meat patties. I don't know why, I just do. I mean, like, there's the old style of veggie burgers that I really hated, but like the kind that like actually looks like meat, even if it doesn't taste exactly the same, I really do enjoy them. And I like the consistency better than most real meat. Except when you're like grilling on a grill, like at home. But in a restaurant, sure, yeah. I love the Beyond Burger, the Beyond Beef burgers. And it's cool because it's sustainable, so yeah. Oh, hello, Hollow Mirage. Welcome to the stream. I know, Luca, it's called Hungry Jack in Australia, but I can't help but call it Burger King. Just because some copyright bullies are just being really shit about it in Australia. That's why it's called Hungry Jack's here. Anyway, back to the story. However, no one tried to get real soy sauce. It was expensive after all. But even so, if everyone had shared in the burden, it should have been possible to turn its price down to its old level. It's like... And now that dream had already been crushed. The miserable situation in Tokyo had left President Satomi deeply disappointed. Particularly painful was the shock to discover that they had sold real soy sauce to Chinatown and used the money to buy fake soy sauce.
Well, I do understand that the people of Tokyo are poor, never rough.
Satomi-san. Satomi's voice through the phone was disgusted. Sales were excellent, and the soy sauce sold out on the same day. Because people in the soy sauce business heard that report first. The shock had been massive when they'd learned the truth.
The craftsmen have filled with disappointment and anger, saying the sellout Japanese of Tokyo could never appreciate the taste of soy sauce. As I told you before, many of us in the countryside consider Tokyo dwellers to be country sellers who sold their souls to the occupying forces.
Part of this plan had been to somehow win them over and soothe them, but...
With this incident, they've totally lost the desire to sell soy sauce to Tokyo dwellers. We should have waited until the people of Tokyo were more well off. It was premature.
They could have made excuses like that. However, someone who had been watching City 23 from the end of the war until today, Rose understood. Now was the only time. If it had been any sooner, no one would have enough spare money to buy soy sauce. Improved wages had created that spare money. However, if they took their time, soy sauce culture would really fade out. They'd be overwhelmed by the many food products released into the market by the occupying forces. If you asked a man, they might complain about this being impatient or the result of a woman's shallow thinking. However, Rose's feminine instincts had clearly picked up on this. There was no time except now. If this failed, soy sauce culture would be lost forever.
Is that your woman's intuition, Rose-chan?
I picked up on a more certain sense of urgency. God damn it, Hollow Mirage! Not something as vague as that.
Well, I guess it means that your good efforts were just a bit out of the times.
It's interesting to compare a man's field of vision with a microscope and a woman's with radar. Men are best at focusing in on one thing and analyzing in extreme detail. It's like a microscope. these are some really weird generalizations that this story has. I gotta say. On the other hand, women had extremely wide ranges of vision, which stretched much farther than the naked eye can see, and were specialized in analyzing many things at once. It's like radar. Again, like, these are really some pretty crazy generalizations. I have to say, like, these are like the weirdest aspects of this story, which is saying something, because there's like like, you know, the whole thing is about like some like crazy alternate universe with like Japan that was basically colonized by other countries due to the due to a disaster, which they won't elaborate on for some reason. I wonder how long it took to recover from that disaster, because everything seems pretty well off. But anyway, just like, that seems to be like the weirdest part of the story whenever they talk about things like that. Because of this, whenever a dangerous shadow suddenly appears in front of a ship's course, women can take notice sooner than men understand the danger. Again, like, seriously. And when this happens, men will ask women about the shadow's shape, its material, its mass, all information from a microscope's perspective. Of course, radar can't pin down such micro-information. Someone can answer these questions for men. When this happens, men laugh at women for being so cowardly, so shallow they got worked up about the information so vague they didn't even know such basic details. This ability of women to observe events outside men's ranges of vision is commonly called women's intuition. Unfortunately, it was probably hard for President Satomi, a man, to share Rose's vague sense of danger. Again, that's really, really weird. This kind of generalizations. Everyone in the soy sauce industry was also a man. Surely they had laughed at Rose's plan for being impatient from the start, prepared to shut it down if even the slightest problem appeared. By now, it was already impossible to ask the soy sauce industry to start selling to the masses again. Rose's woman's intuition told her that. Yeah, exactly, Paula Mirage. It feels like he's trying to say women have like some kind of spider sense or some shit. Like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's like women in this universe seem to have superpowers from the Ryukishi perspective. Spidey sense.
Well, Rose-chan, it's not like you did anything wrong. That timing was just a little bit off.
And after I asked you to make such difficult changes, giving us a chance, I'm sorry.
If anyone should apologize, it's me. You have nothing to apologize for. The people of Tokyo have made the decision. That's all there is to it.
We decided on our own to choose a fake over the real thing. Satomi had probably been trying to soothe Rose by telling her it wasn't her fault. However, those words made Rose feel an even deeper pain in her heart. Satomi explained that the soy sauce industry refused to cooperate any longer. Oof, damn, so her plan actually failed. You know, I actually kind of like that one of Rose's plans failed in this way, because like sometimes like it just so things don't go like so smoothly for her, like everything she wants to do succeeds. So I think this is a really cool aspect of the story, this whole thing that the soy sauce plan has failed in this way, because it shows that she's not perfect. Like, you know, things didn't work out 100% like everything that she wanted to do, which makes sense and was foreshadowed because of the future world. Like everything wasn't like, you know, the Japanese weren't treated as equals, sadly. They'd only just managed to rebuild themselves by selling through luxury channels. However, since all the soy sauce in City 23 had been gathered in one place, it was now rapidly spreading into the black market through Chinatown. That would slash the prices of high-grade soy sauce. The soy sauce industry had been hurt both as a luxury item and as a consumer good. They were enraged, saying that their favor of switching to the consumer market had been repaid with betrayal.
The union says it'll stop production for a while, wait for the market price to rise again, then return to its previous luxury good model.
Oof.
Even I owe a lot to the union. I ask a lot of them too. It won't be possible to cooperate any longer. Forgive me, Rose-chan.
No. Thank you very much for your support, President Satomi.
Don't worry so much about it. It didn't work out in the end, but I was able to find a precious friend in Tokyo. Also, though it didn't go well for you, distribution through Tokyo turned out good for us.
Well, that's good at least. Soy sauce industry had been angered. The Satomi had profited considerably from the distribution route to Tokyo that Primavera had offered. Oh, sorry. His dream of making massive profits from that route had been crushed, but it certainly hadn't ended with Satomi losing out. Well, that's good at least.
When the time comes I can help you in another way, I most certainly will. Anyway, don't let it get you down. Feel free to drop by whenever you like.
Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Rose set down the receiver and gave a long sigh. It was now official. The soy sauce distribution plan had failed.
He got us good. That Wang Yun Hong. This is a preemptive strike against us.
A strike. No, that's not it. I think this is just a message.
That if we don't obey, this will only be the beginning.
No, not in that direction. It's more fundamental. Rose stood up and looked outside through the curtains. For a while, she gazed fondly out at the great river of exhaust fumes and asphalt, with cars crossing left and right.
Let me hear your opinion.
Claudia told me. She said there's more and more restaurants buying the Chinatown substitute soy sauce.
Well, we're in the middle of a soy sauce fever after all. Food industry is seeing an unprecedented boom in the foods using soy sauce. Demand is high. Even so, there are those who won't buy real soy sauce because it's too expensive. It isn't surprising that substitute soy sauce is selling so well.
In that case, demand for substitute soy sauce would shoot up, and of course it would be distributed more widely. The source of supply of substitute soy sauce is Chinatown. She said that right now the connections between the Japanese shopping centers and Chinatown distributors are expanding rapidly. In the past, Rose had tried to help the community of her countrymen by prioritizing businesses owned by them when making purchases. Most of her countrymen had supported this, and a firm Japanese colony had formed in City 23, unlike anything you would see in Tokyo's other cities. One thing I gotta think, what is their definition of city here? Do they mean like a borough or like a district? Like, because isn't Tokyo a city? Like, and there's, I thought like City 23 was Tokyo. Like, and like the numbers are like, you know, the different cities in Japan, which is weird because shouldn't Tokyo be City 1 in that respect? So yeah, I really want to know like what is their definition of city here? However, if that had fallen apart, and foreign businessmen like the Chinese were being used more often again, and the big tree formed by the Japanese colony would dry up bit by bit from the roots, eventually drying up all the way to the leaves. You'll go back to society on the brink of destruction, with shops withering and getting bought by foreigners. That had existed until Rose's ideals had shown everyone a brief glimpse of utopia. Right at the formation of the Primavera family, people listened to our words, but it's only natural that their thoughts would gradually switch from ideals to profit. I've heard that they've avoided dealing with Chinese distributors so far. Afraid of Primavera's eyes on them, but
Because of this fake soy sauce fever? That's all fallen apart at once?
that's what Claudia says.
Aren't they sweet? Real soy sauce will be driven out. Driven out by that fake soy sauce.
Claudia, tell me something. How can we get the people to choose real soy sauce over the fake stuff?
Make it cheaper.
How can we get them to understand that failing to do this means ending our soy sauce culture by their own hands?
It's not simple, and there's only one way. We need to oppose it by lowering the price to be the same as a substitute soy sauce. And making the amount of supply the same too. If we do that, no one would choose to buy those disgusting fakes. Even a child would be able to tell the difference. If we could bring that triple price soy sauce back to its old price. I know if we could do that, then we could exterminate the fake soy sauce. Anyone could tell you that the real thing would sell them.
Rose was no fool. I wonder if Primavera could just eat that cost. Oh, interesting. Yep, there we go. She had looked into whether Primavera could provide financial support and lower the price until mass distribution cut the price down. However, that estimate had amounted to a massive sum. It had been a 10-year plan for mass distribution to lower the price. It would be completely impossible to subsidize soy sauce expenses to support the hundreds of thousands of Japanese consumers in the city over that period. Primavera did own the special offers windows, but nearly all of those funds had been returned as wages for laborers. Even so, it was true that they possessed considerable financial power, but it wasn't nearly enough to subsidize a flavoring that general townspeople used every day. There were no accurate records left, but it was estimated the average Japanese individual individual consumed more than 10 liters of soy sauce per year before the shortage caused by the war. The Japanese bought and were dependent on soy sauce to a degree that 21st century Japanese person could hardly imagine, now that foreign food cultures dominate. The Japanese population of City 23 was also hard to measure accurately, but a rough estimate would probably put it about 300,000 people. In other words, if the people of City 23 regained their Japanese food culture according to Rose's ideals and started consuming soy sauce, then City 23's annual soy sauce consumption would top 3 million liters. It might even get as high as 4 million. The price of 1 liter of soy sauce was 3 times the pre-war level. Primavera was distributing it for 33 Japanese dollars. In other words, to return it to its former price, they would need to support the cost by 22 Japanese dollars per liter. If we assume City 23's annual consumption is 4 million liters, then they would need to offer financial support of 88 million Japanese dollars per year. Ooh, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. As we just learned with Caleb. Damn, that just ain't happening. Like, a number almost as large as the 100 million Caleb had gathered by strangling the whole city would need to be paid every year for a decade. Even Rose was forced to conclude that this was unrealistic. However, if that cost was shared among all consumers, it would be a small burden. If a single person consumed 10 liters per year, damn, and were freaking killed by sodium overdose, the individual burden would only be 220 Japanese dollars per year. The recent wage improvements, that was about half a day's wage. For the burden of only half a day's wage, I could taste real soy sauce for a year. Rose had been sure that she could get that little level of support, but
There's also a lot of poor people. It's impossible to ask all of them to bear that burden. Even we wouldn't be able to do business. Isn't that what your Primavera has been saving up money to do?
it's impossible, Claudia. Even Primavera doesn't have such extraordinary funds.
But Chinatown's been buying that expensive soy sauce at even higher prices. If the Cheerios can do it, why can't Primavera?
The Japanese city folk thought of Primavera and the GDS's forces on pretty much the same level, though that's not true. We know the GDS has bases in many different cities. Like, just one of their branches is equal to Primavera, so no. The GDS is on like a whole different order of magnitude than Primavera, if I can thinking of it correctly. The Japanese city folk thought of Primavera and GDS's forces on pretty much the same level. In truth, even Rose had once thought they were on nearly the same level, since they each represented their respective cities. However, there was no comparison between the financial power of the two forces. The amount of soy sauce Rose had released in City 23 during the soy sauce fever was 100,000 liters. It was thought that the GDS had bought up nearly 70% of that. Also, the GDS was buying those $33 liters of soy sauce for 66, twice the selling price. In other words, they invested the massive sum, an estimated 5 million Japanese dollars, to blunt Rose's soy sauce policy. On top of that, they had released the gathered soy sauce into the black market, and they were probably selling it near the high countryside prices, the GDS might even be the black. Oh my god, damn. Wow, that's kind of a brilliant scheme they have going, actually. They resold it at the luxury price. Plus, some of the city folk were starting to suspect that Primavera had been trying to gouge them by selling soy sauce at triple the old price. From Primavera's perspective, they were taking luxury soy sauce that was out of the common man's reach and drastically lowering the price. Drastically. But other people didn't compare against that hidden price. One bottle of the old luxury soy sauce cost more than 2,000 Japanese Whoa! Damn! And that was back when the daily wage for Tokyo laborers was about $200. Now that is luxury. However, they didn't rejoice in the fact that this 2,000 had become 33. They only compared it to the cheap prices they had found during the well-off pre-war days. They used to be able to buy it for $11 worth in modern currency. They had nothing to say except that $33, triple the old price, was outrageous. In other words, simply having soy sauce bottles displayed in storefronts for triple the price increased the number of people screaming about Primavera price gouging. The more Primavera spread soy sauce distribution, the more they lost the support of the city folk. And the more the GDS filled their pockets. I gotta admit, that's a pretty fucking brilliant scheme. Because Wang Yuanhong is not like Caleb. He's not a dummy. He's pretty fucking smart. To combat that, Primavera would have to resist with money too. However, as previously stated, they would need an outrageous sum of money to do that. There was no comparison between Rose, who wanted to restore soy sauce culture out of goodwill, and Wong, who was waging war with vast financial resources behind him. Wong had already been declared the winner in the soy sauce war.
Not just soy sauce we're talking about. Here and there, stores have spent is already making a deal on trading down to get soy sauce. When they do that, they'll remember buying the foreigners is much cheaper than buying with their countrymen, and they can get many more things at greater quantity. If we leave things as they are, the community of countrymen from the ideas will all fall in pieces.
Money talks, sadly. It's sad, but you know, that's a universal truth. In tough times, a lot of people can't afford ideals if they need to survive. The idealistic desire to prioritize deals with our countrymen gave rise to a brief utopia. But ideals are no more than dreams.
So it's a dream that they wake from when they see Chinatown's overwhelming quantity and low prices.
The problem was already getting bigger than just soy sauce. The Primavera family's foundation ceremony, where people had cried and applauded the society of mutual support among countrymen that Rose spoke of, seemed far away. That ideal, the dream that all of her countrymen supposedly shared, was starting to fall down and break apart. Claudia says most stores are already starting to rely on distribution lines through Chinatown.
People have started to say that profit is more important than mutual support among countrymen.
What should we... Oh, that was Richard.
What shall we do? The consciousness of the people is starting to stray from this idea. If we are to guide the countrymen, we must return them to the proper path.
How?
By using the techniques Cyrus and the others specialize in. We are members of the criminal underworld after all.
Damn. Richard is a cold ass motherfucker, but we always knew that. That won't do. Yeah, Rose is like... Rose kind of reminds me of Kiryu, where like... Kiryu is a Yakuza that doesn't like hitting people up for money, which is kind of almost a contradictory factor. While Rose is a mafia boss that also like doesn't agree with the basic thing that mafia bosses do to actually be called mafia bosses. So it's just reminded me of that with Kiryu. How he acts in contradictory terms to the world that he's trying to live in. That won't do. Ideals can't come true unless they're approved of involuntary. No matter how noble a goal may be. The path leading to them is paved with coercion and violence, and we'll just be repeating Caleb-san's mistake. We are members of the criminal underworld. While we may engage in bloodbaths with other people in the underworld, we must never shed the blood of those who live in the world of daylight. The thing is, Mystery Theater, the fake soy sauce wasn't that cheap until Wang Yuanhong did that. Like, he made the fake cheaper. A lot cheaper.
So you're saying there's nothing we can do?
We can only appeal to everyone's Japanese souls.
Do you think the people will really listen?
We won't know until we try. I have faith in the Japanese people. If that doesn't work, we'll probably make the same decision again and again. With all our traditions and culture, not just soy sauce.
Is there any way I can help?
It should be easy for you to calculate how things will end up if they continue changing at the current rate. Preparing for the worst case is your specialty. I want you to prepare for that.
Understood.
The Japanese are the people who sold off the 5-story pagoda of the Kofuku Temple, which had over 1,000 years of history, for just 250 yen. Damn, what? What? Really? This was during the Meiji era, so that 250 yen wasn't exactly the same value as modern currency. Even so, it could hardly be called a fitting price for a building with a history of over a millennium long. 250 yen. This is a historical tower which later on was named as a national treasure. It became part of the cultural assets of the old capital Nara in 1998, and it was even added to the World Heritage List. And that was the price they sold it for. I've learned about the tragedy of Haibutsu Kishaku, the expulsion of Buddhism from Japan that was triggered by the Shinbutsu Burumi, separation of Shinto and Buddhism. wondered. That's something I always wondered about, like how Shinto is separate from Buddhism, so it kind of branched off.
Yes, it was indeed a tragedy. What a tragedy to discover that we Japanese are people who can use our 1,000-year-old cultural treasure for firewood without any respect. The Japanese are a people so foolish that not only are they unwilling to protect their tradition and culture, but they can't even manage to get a good price for it.
Damn! Wow!
Are people who couldn't even understand the worth of its own culture until Ernest Fenollosa suggested it to Ito Hirobumi, the first Prime Minister. Do you know who Ernest Fenollosa was? He was an American. He was just a paid foreign professor. On top of that, his specialties were philosophy and political economy. In other words, our country's first Prime Minister was lectured on the value of Japanese culture by an American working outside his field. How far do you think those Japanese will be able to go to protect mere soy sauce, the culture of the everyday meal?
I love Rose's look here. This is such a freaking meme face right here. I mean, not Rose. God damn it. Julie. Fucking hell. I gave her the same voice as Rose, so I got her confused. I love Julie's look here. It's hilarious. Such a good expression. Julie couldn't answer. Oh, yep, here's confirmation. After all, soy sauce culture had been completely wiped out in 21st century Japan. Damn. Because we didn't protect our culture. It was destroyed. Because we like fakes we could get for cheap more than our culture. It was destroyed. And this isn't like some animal that went extinct billions of years ago. Just a few decades ago, we stood aside a culture spending 1,000 years was destroyed. Oh, that's an awkward sentence. And let it die. As a matter of historical knowledge, Julie knew this, of course. She knew that soy sauce had a history far more than 1,000 years long. I mean, shiny soy sauce is still there. I mean, you'd think that, you'd think that they'd at least use that before they use the fake stuff. Even when faced with President Satomi's practical declaration of defeat, Madame Rose didn't give up. She didn't give up on using soy sauce culture to bring unity and prosperity to the community of her countrymen, but bringing it within everyone's reach. And she continued to make her case to everyone. Madame Rose stood in the street and appealed to the city folk. Soy sauce was a bit of a precious culture that the Japanese had to protect. Damn, so we now know that it's all for naught. If they let that be destroyed, they would end up losing other parts of their culture too. However, no one listened to her words. On the contrary, some people called out insults to her, saying she was trying to gouge people with soy sauce. Real soy sauce, which no one took. And off to the side, the fake soy sauce that sold like crazy. Even though everyone should know that it didn't taste right. However, no one felt like paying 3 times the money for something as intangible as taste. Even though people could buy it for just $22 more, no one did. They might buy it once as a souvenir, but they wouldn't buy it again. On the contrary, the city folk sneered, saying that they'd probably start selling it for cheap once it passed the best of use date. If only one of them had a little of the range of vision or ability to see the future that Rose had. But of course, none of them had that vision. That was why Rose alone could be Madame Rose. One who guided their countrymen. Again, yeah, I totally agree, Mystery Theater. Like, you can't really blame them when they're struggling to survive. It's hard to quibble over something like that. Her cries didn't reach any of her countrymen. The cries of her heart were not understood. Here, be my guest.
Sorry to bother you during work. Sorry about the whole soy sauce thing. Huh?
Ah, Meryl-san. Long time no see.
Huh? Hey, it's Lee Meiju. You surprised me. I didn't realize you were here.
He's here incognito today, although it's kind of obvious that it's him with the giant iguana on his shoulder. But please keep it a secret from everyone.
If I went to a Japanese club to play, many of my countrymen would be envious. How bothersome.
You liar. Did you mean a lot of girls would be jealous? Putting that aside. Sorry, Rose. You see...
Meryl whispered into Rose's ear. Rose nodded immediately, without a trace of suspicion in her face. Yeah, it's okay. I called them here. Damn, this is the longest stretch of this part without them being in it. When Rose nodded, Oliver and the others waiting in the hall were given permission to enter the room. They had been, no, Oliver in particular, had been unsatisfied ever since that day. In the first place, none of them had even seen Zell try to poison Rose. Zell had been pouring water when Madame Rose approached her. And after they exchanged some words, Zell suddenly turned white and dashed away. After that, they had only heard a one-sided report from Wayne, who said she was a killer hired by the enemy.
I don't believe it. I'm not like you heartless people.
I'm too dumb to really understand. I don't want to think about how that smile of hers. Some weird birds making some noise outside. Was there to deceive us. She really lost her memory at voice. At least that much is true. If only a memory hadn't come back. It was bad luck.
If that's true, then while her memory was gone, we were talking to the real Zell. What did you think after being with that real Zell? Did she look like someone who killed to eat? No, she didn't. Zell isn't that kind of person. What do you mean, a hired killer from Chinatown? I don't believe it. She was obviously overwhelmed by some unavoidable circumstance and doing it unwillingly.
Damn, that's right on the money. You're a kind person, Oliver-kun. You've believed in Zell all this time.
I don't suspect my comrades. I'm sorry, but if it's a choice between Madame Rose and one of my comrades, I'll stick by Zell.
So, yeah. They say they want to hear what you have to say no matter what. Wayne's still in shock, you know. If they tried to ask him, he wouldn't be happy.
Unable to ask Wayne while he was in a bad mood, they had discussed the matter with Meryl through Nina. They said they wanted to hear what happened that day from Madame Rose. It's sad, but it's true that she was an assassin. Well, now that Lee Meiju is here, maybe he could clear up the business about her father. Oh, yes! Woo! However, Meiju-san will tell you why she had to become an assassin.
Ni hao, children. I am Lee Meiju. A pleasure to meet you.
Lee Meiju!
At least call him Sam, dumbass!
What's a leading member of the GDS doing here?
The three of them were shocked to learn that the Chinese man sitting across from Rose was Lee Meiju. Apparently, though they knew the name of Small Rock Chinatown's boss, this was the first time they'd seen his face. However, they knew the many fearsome stories of his kills, and they seemed to have tensed up.
You are Hotarubi's friends.
I don't know any Hotarubi. We're the real Zell's comrades. For a period of time, Zell really did lose her memory. During that time, we were true comrades.
So she really did lose her memory. I see, I see. That would explain things.
Zell had been given the privilege of spending a day with her father, one day a month. Zell had abandoned that privilege just once, during the first month after infiltrating Primavera. It had been puzzling, since her father was her only support, but now it finally made sense. The plot of her losing her memory and going to Primavera's care had become true, without any deception.
The poor child. Then it would have been better had her memory never returned after all.
Zell really is a girl with a sad history. Even I'm just hearing about it now from Meiju-san. She didn't become an assassin by choice.
I knew it! Vindication!
It was just forced on her against her will. Meiju-san, could you repeat what you just said to these kids too? And he tells them.
How much do you know about her?
Nothing.
We thought she had a creepy tattoo on her neck. Zell would have never chosen to get that. Yes, Luca.
We really don't know anything more.
She was born on the Chinese mainland while it was occupied by the Japanese. She was raised in a large city in the countryside, where Chinese and Japanese people lived together.
So the natural way she spoke Chinese really wasn't something she'd learn later. A land where the Chinese languages was an everyday thing. That was the place she was born. Zell, or Saijo Hotaru, was born in a provincial city in China under Japanese control and raised in a wealthy household. Her father, who was a well-known figure locally, promulgated, never heard that word before, the ideals of the Greater East Asian Prosperity Sphere, and supposedly wanted to be a bridge between Japan and China. For that reason, he gave her an education that would allow her to adapt to Chinese culture, including having Chinese teachers and mingling with Chinese households. However, when the great disaster hit the entire Japanese island chain, the war suddenly ended. On that day, the utopia of the Greater East Asian Prosperity Sphere, where Chinese and Japanese lived together in harmony, was destroyed. Of course, the only one who believed it was a utopia were the Japanese, exactly. From the Chinese point of view, they were the ones being ruled, so they were just biding their time until the uprising came. In some cities, the Chinese city folk all revolted at once and began to attack Japanese nationals. The long war and rule had been a continuous attack on their self-respect. All those feelings had built up and exploded in a blast of righteous anger. Astonishingly, some of the Japanese were shocked by this anger.
We put infrastructure in place while we ruled them, so obviously they should be thanking us. Surely no country in the future will ever repeat this mistake.
Some of them truly believe that. The Chinese government, which was still in an unstable position, was unable to stop these riots, to say nothing of the Japanese government. For Japanese people living in the interior, like Zal, escaping quickly became an urgent matter. However, right before they did, Zal's family was suddenly arrested by a group of Chinese MPs.
Her father, who was at the head of the police station, was under suspicion.
Suspicion?
He was suspected of committing atrocities against Chinese citizens. His name was on a list of war criminals constructed by the local government. They claimed he was arrested before he could escape.
Chief of Police Saijo Yukishi was suspected of repeatedly arresting Chinese people for crimes they hadn't committed, then killing them and oh my god! And massing a gas chamber inside the whoa! The fuck? From what Zell had heard from her father, that was apparently an accident. They had been hit with a massive cold wave that winter season. The tension area in the police station was heated to a degree by a stove. However, two misfortunes occurred at the same time. First, the stove had broken. Negligence on the part of those in charge was probably partly to blame. The stove broke late at night, and until dawn it foamed carbon monoxide into all the cells through the ducts. The second bit of misfortune was that several people held there were young ringleaders of a massive riot that had broken out the previous day. Oops. Like, yeah, who the fuck would believe that? Like, even if that really happened, nobody's gonna believe it. Yeah, that is some bad luck. Because nobody would buy that explanation. Of course, even if the Japanese announced that they had died due to an unfortunate accident, none of the Chinese would believe them. Especially in World War II era, where that was like a thing people were doing. Nobody's gonna believe that bullshit. Even though if it actually might be true in this case. While the young heroes of the anti-Japanese resistance were being held there, it's possible that another riot could break out demanding their release. Chinese believed that, fearful of such an outcome, the Japanese had quickly gassed those heroes to death and made it look like an accident.
At the time, the government wanted those anti-Japanese heroes as a way to boost public support. And if possible, it would also be more convenient if those heroes were already dead. After all, if they were alive, they would threaten the positions of those in government.
Made you laugh. Jeez. Following the orders of the central government, all the regional governments made lists of heroes. In regions under contention, it should have been easy to fill those lists up. However, in the cities Al lived in, which was far from the battlefront, hadn't been easy to find people to recommend.
And this incident is what they set their eyes on. The young dead were quickly lauded as anti-Japanese heroes. Saijo Ryukishi was named as the villain who killed them with poison gas.
But it was an accident, wasn't it? Charles-kun, there is no truth when it comes to events related to war. To the Japanese, it's a stove accident. 2 to 3 scenes. Apparition, interesting. I'll see how I feel. I don't know how long those scenes would be. To the Chinese, it's a brutal crime where people were killed with gas. Both of those are the truth to their respective sides. No matter how much each side makes its own claims, it won't be possible to reach a truth that both can accept. The People's Court decided that Police Chief Saijo's guilt had been completely proven and sentenced him to death. The court acknowledged the existence of the gas rooms and concluded that Saijo was decided, by his own judgment, to unjustly execute those citizens. This gas room is currently on display in an anti-Japanese museum. However, some Japanese on the internet claim that this museum was a fabricated gas chamber made after the war for anti-Japanese propaganda. They used blueprints of the police station at the time as evidence that the existence of the gas chamber had been forged, but the museum denied it. The remodeling had been done for the convenience of visitors, and the existence of the gas chamber wasn't in doubt, as proved by countless testimonies. Even now, in the 21st century, this crime has not been allowed to rest in peace.
That Mr. Saijo was given the death sentence is a fact. Beyond that, there is no truth. Was Mr. Saijo an atrocious man like the child accused him of being? Or was it really just an accident? Were the anti-Japanese heroes really arrested for being part of an anti-Japanese movement because they broke into stores to rob them during the turmoil of the riot? No one knows. There's just one thing we can say. Pitch soils. Evil rumors are hard to erase. That is the sort of situation in which our family was abandoned.
I might be able to stop after this scene. That's what I was planning to do. Apparition, thank you, though. However, Mr. Saijo wasn't executed. Immediately before it happened, he and Zell, the only surviving member of his family, disappeared from jail. There are many theories as to how he broke out of jail. However, one persuasive theory is that a local government big shot he knew well broke him out, in exchange for the wealth Mr. Saijo secretly held. So Zell and her father just barely managed to escape. However, the two of them didn't return to Japan safely.
The two Saijos were now in debt of the local underworld. They offered their secret wealth in exchange for a ticket to Japan. However, that apparently didn't go as well as they had planned.
Oh, god damn it. With a wallet, you can just open it up and show what's inside. However, it's impossible to get an idea of how much secret wealth someone owns. The people who had taken in the two Saijos estimated that Mr. Saijo was hiding more assets than he offered. Eventually, the trust between them broke down. The two Saijos were confined to something like an underground hideout.
If it came out that they were hiding a war criminal, it would be troublesome.
Of course, no one would let an escaped war criminal run wild. For the sake of pride and saving face, the central government began a rigorous search and pursuit. If it came out that they were hiding this criminal, They'll be branded as pro-Japanese and accused of the same crime. As time went on, hiding the Saijos began to become a burden.
By that time, Mr. Saijo was little more than baggage to them.
During that time, they began to forget the possibility that the possibly non-existent hidden assets in favor of the asset they had right before them.
If Otaru-san hadn't been so beautiful, they would have never left China alive.
Ugh, that's an awful thing to say.
What does that mean?
Oh, you poor sweet summer child.
Figure it out already. Use that damn tattoo and figure it out.
In exchange for her father's safety, she obeyed everything, no matter how harsh. As a beautiful, obedient pet, she probably offered bosses a feeling of supremacy they couldn't buy with money. Ugh. Then, when she began to prove valuable as a gift, she was passed between several despicable men. However, eventually, some people started to take advantage of this fact by using her as an assassin. In exchange for her father's safety, the last thing supporting her heart, she continued to fall deeper into darkness.
In other words, Zell was...
She was forced into becoming a killer in exchange for her father's safety.
It is a sad tale. A tragedy of the war.
Why? Didn't she tell us? If she did tell us, then would we have believed her? We couldn't have. Even if she told us, we wouldn't have believed her.
Zell. In that case, where's Zell's father now?
Somewhere in City 22 GTS hideout. She probably intends to save him by herself. But that would be reckless beyond all reason. At this rate, she will die like a dog.
Oliver is not going to take that. As soon as Meiju said that, Oliver turned around as though hit with an electric shock. Charles and Nina followed him without a moment's hesitation. They probably intended to search for Zell and stop her. Stop her and then what? Who knows? That's something for the young to consider. All right, wandering dogs.
They dashed...
Oh, I thought that was Oliver talking. They dashed outside in the heat of the moment, but they had no idea where Zell was. However, they wanted to see her as soon as possible. To see her and talk with her. Yes! Umi Neko music. Go ahead. Woo! No, apologize to her.
She's probably wandering around Chinatown looking for her father.
Wait. The Chinatown in City 23 and the one in City 22. If we get all fired up and just run all over the place, we'll never find her. But if we stay here, we'll never find her, right? We're scum. We didn't trust our comrade. We didn't even try to trust Zell.
I feel the same. I don't want to see the sun rise tomorrow before I've apologized to Zell. I don't care if my heart explodes. I'll run around looking for Zell even if it kills me.
Oh my god! Yes! Sheesh. Wait up, you guys. Stella's son. Ah, to be young. You're so excited you can't hear the people around you. Meiju-san told me to give this to you. All right. Yes! Wandering Dog's ultimate mission. Find Zell and rescue her father. Stella was holding what appeared to be a folded memo. Oliver took it and spread it out. Chinese.
We can't read this.
I can. I'll read it for you. Now there's a high-class coil for you. You're awesome! Yeah, I already know that. It's an address. I guess he wants you to go here. It was a location within City 23's Chinatown. Guide them to that place. Lee made you. That's what it says.
That place? Let's go! We might find a clue about Cell!
Stella-san! Thank you so much! I don't know what's going on, but if Meiju-san's looking after you, that should be reassuring. The three thanked her and ran off. As long as they could meet Cell, nothing else mattered. At the moment, they couldn't think of anything else. Woo! Oh, and here we go, the end of the chapter. So yeah, this turns out the chapter actually ends here. Apparition. Perfect. Perfect timing for a save point. Well, I think I'm gonna change the title of the stream because I think I'm gonna use this title for next time. Oh my god. Oh, this is the chapter break. That is the, yeah. Okay. Perfect chapter break. Thank you, Apparition. Okay, I can't wait for next time. We're gonna go back and rescue Zell. Woo! So we'll definitely do that on Thursday. And on Tuesday, we'll get back to Remember 11. So until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.